Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am, per usual, joining a readathon rather late. I had hoped to actually do a separate TBR video, but if you've been paying attention to my channel, I am woefully behind on editing videos, so making a separate TBR at this point is just, it's not possible. I mean, it's possible, it just wouldn't make sense. Anyways, I am participating in the Irish Readathon. Thankfully, it's a month-long readathon, so I'm not too late in participating. And there's only 5 challenges, and well, total of 7 if I count the bonus challenges. But I feel like this is still doable. It is March 2nd filming this, and so I am a little late in filming this because life has been pretty busy. Yesterday, I got my first COVID vaccine. It's a series of 2 doses. I got my first one yesterday, and I'm scheduled to get my last one on the 30th, actually. So at the end of this readathon. And today was just, your typical do chores, clean up. Today's my day off, so I was able to do some chores, but even though it was my day off, I still had to sit in on a pretty important staff meeting. So that was done through Zoom, and that was such a long staff meeting. And I finally got around to editing and posting the last of my 2020 reading wrap-up series. So that's finally up. I still have to finish editing the Halloween readathon I've done. At this point, that is 6 months overdue. And I think I'm not prioritizing that because it is so late. I also have this Barnes & Noble shopping vlog I want to put up. So obviously I've been wrapped up in the real world, but I'm hoping to actually get some reading done for this readathon. And without further ado, let's actually get into the prompts. I have to say, this was really hard to compile. After I finally got everything I needed to get done today, no, I lie, I just realized I never called my doctor. Anyways, I guess that's a tomorrow thing. After getting done what I thought I needed to get done today, I actually sat down and tried compiling my TBR list for this readathon. And it took me 2 or 3 hours. So much Googling. Basically, the idea is I'll only read books by Irish authors and books set in Ireland, which is great. I'm of Irish descent, and I'm very keen to get more in touch with that. And so I wanted to participate in this, but I didn't realize how difficult it was to find books that would fit these prompts. The first prompt is to read a green book, and this doesn't necessarily have to be by an Irish author or set in Ireland because this is really specific, and because we're in the middle of a pandemic, finding a book or getting a hold of a book that has a green cover might be a little bit hard to do. I have 2 options for this. Right now I have Britt Marie Was Here by Fredrik Backman. That is a green cover, but that is by a Swedish author. I love his style of writing. I enjoy his books. And so if I'm struggling to find something that I want to read, I figured that's a safe bet. Another choice I have is Normal People by Sally Rooney. Sally Rooney is an Irish author, but half of the book is green, not the whole thing. So I don't know if that counts. Both of these are contemporaries. The second prompt is read a nonfiction book. This I know the author, I just don't know which book I'm going to read. The author is Frank McCourt. It's either going to be Angela's Ashes or Teacher Man. I would prefer to read Teacher Man. Basically, he wrote a series based on his life. Angela's Ashes is about his childhood in Ireland. Tis, I believe, is him in high school, but I can't quite remember if it's meant to be in Ireland or America, because he eventually does move from Ireland to America, and Teacher Man is him being a teacher in America. I've read Angela's Ashes and Tis when I was in high school, pretty much 15 years ago at this point, so I only have a vague memory of what happened. I'm going to start with Teacher Man, because that's where I left off, and if I get overly confused, I'll just switch over to Angela's Ashes. I do remember that I really enjoyed both Angela's Ashes and Tis. I just think I might have to reread it to actually, brush up on it. Third prompt is read a new to you author, and this I've already started. While I was searching for some books for these prompts, I went on some of my library apps just to try to find choices, and I found Maeve in America by Maeve Higgins. She is an Irish comedian, and this is a series of essays. So this is also a nonfiction book. I actually found it on a library app. I found it as an audiobook, and I tend to enjoy nonfiction more as an audiobook. And so I found it, downloaded it. I didn't mean to download it, and it was like, oh, well, I have 21 days now to read it. Let's get started while I'm searching for other stuff. So I've already started it. Because I was looking at other things, I haven't quite been paying super attention to it, so it's not really grabbing me yet. But I'm hoping while I'm listening to it at work, maybe it'll grab me a little bit more. The next prompt is to read a book with a Black, Indigenous, person of color author, or an author part of the LGBTQIA plus community. I was able to find The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson. She is an author that was originally from South Africa, and she now lives in Ireland. And this is a fantasy book. Wren is our main character that is like every Christmas is hunted by her family's enemies. And in an effort to save her family, I guess she starts interning for an enemy. I don't know the full synopsis offhand right now. I actually just requested this from my library, and hopefully I'll get it in time. Prompt number 5, read a book with mythology or folklore. I wanted to read something I haven't read yet, and anything that could have fit didn't quite fit. Like, I love the Iron Druid series by Kevin Hearn, but he's not an Irish author. As kind of like a last-ditch effort, right now I have Kissing the Witch by Emma Donoghue. And this is basically Emma Donoghue writing fairy tales with a new twist for each one. So those are all the main prompts, and these are the 2 bonus ones. One is the group book, which is The Henna Wars by Adiba. Oh no, I'm going to mispronounce this, and it's not fair to the author. Adiba Girdar. She's a Bangladeshi woman that now lives in Ireland, and I believe it's a sapphic romance, but I could be mistaken about that. Like I said, I don't have any of the books on hand, and other than the Frank McCourt books, because I actually own those, but I don't have any of these on hand, so I'm going to find out when I finally get them from my library what their synopsises are. And the one other bonus prompt is a 24-hour readathon, which is from March 20th to March 21st, which is a Saturday to Sunday. I'm going to do my best to participate in that. To be honest, I don't know how much I'm going to read for that readathon. I work on Saturdays, and nowadays I prefer getting a full night's rest than spending an all-nighter reading. College me would be very surprised, but 30-year-old Rachel likes to sleep now. But we're going to do our best. We're going to do our best. Hello again. I come to you in my big old comfy. I know I look ridiculous, but frankly, I don't care. This hands down is the best thing I've bought. The name of it truly speaks for itself. It's very comfy. Anyways, let's get into what I've done so far. It's literally been a week since I last checked in with you guys. Been filming clips here and there, but no real vlogging. I guess I'll start with something that I've already DNF'd. So I did say that I was going to read Maeve in America, and I got the audiobook, and I said I had started it. This is a 6-hour audiobook. I got an hour into it before I went, you know what? I'm not into this. I don't want to read it. So I've DNF'd it. I'm no longer reading it. This was something else that I started before. Ooh. Well, that was quite the technical difficulties. Please stay. I know you're on my bed and it's not very stable, much like my own mental health, but we got to pull through together, friend. All right. Back to what I was reading. What did I say? Yes, I DNF'd Made in America. And this other thing I started before the Readathon, Solutions and Other Problems. I started it before and I didn't mention it in my TBR portion of this video because I was like, I've already started it. I don't think it will count for anything, especially since this isn't an Irish author. But I haven't finished it yet. So I might continue reading this, but not have it count towards this readathon. So I'm probably going to be talking about it a couple times, but I'm not going to have it count for anything. And as you can see, I got a bunch of stuff from the library to see what I can read to count for stuff because I really wanted options. I am going to have to go through what I currently have out like before the readathon and just start bringing stuff back because clearly I'm not reading it in a month. It's not happening. This isn't for the readathon. I saw it and went, you know what, wouldn't it be nice to have a little garden? I don't know why I got this considering I'm probably not going to have the energy to create a garden. But we're going to embrace past Rachel's motivation. Oh, I did start listening to this. Britt Marie Was Here by Frederick Bachman. I said I wanted to see if it would count for like read a book with a green cover. And I started this. I don't know if I'll finish it. I think I might come back to this another time. Like as I'm listening to it, it's basically Britt Marie. She's going through a divorce. She recently left her longtime husband and she doesn't know quite what to do. Definitely the overall theme is she's constantly overlooked, not deemed important. And she left her husband because for years she's ignored his affair, just ignored it. But it's hard to ignore the affair after the mistress called her saying, hey, he's had a heart attack at my place. So you can't ignore that anymore. And so she leaves him and then tries to find a job, even though she hasn't had a job in 30 years. And now she is at this temp job maintaining this like recreation center. And that's where I left off. Britt Marie is very much like, if you're familiar with Keeping Up Appearances, she's very much like Hyacinth, very particular, and she only uses one brand to clean and only this brand is good enough, and you have to maintain a certain visual. And the town that she's in at this recreation center, it's basically, if you're familiar with the show, again, this is just the only comparison that I have. Hyacinth moves to a town full of Winslows, which doesn't make sense if you've never seen the show. Hyacinth is this very stuck-up character, and Winslow is her brother-in-law. That's very, very low class. But that's basically what that reminds me of. So I've started this. Again, I don't know if I'm going to go through with it, but it's nice to just have it in the background. Another book that I started that I can't have count towards this readathon because it literally does not count for anything. It's the latest, no, it's not the latest Samantha Irby book. We'll Never Meet in Real Life. I think that's what it is. Yes, because her recent book as well, No Thank You. Currently listening to We'll Never Meet in Real Life. At least I'm pretty sure that's the title. I'll have the thing here. And I had put in request for it and I got it sooner than I thought I was going to, and I do not want to lose this, especially since I'm very much into her writings right now and I really want to read it. So again, something else that I'm listening to the back, but won't count for anything for this readathon. So I'm currently in between 3 books. Britt Marie Was Here, that Samantha Irby book, Solutions and Other Problems, and I DNF'd a book, and so far I've done nothing, absolutely nothing that counts for this readathon. Oh, Jesus. Hello? This clearly oh God, a mess. A mess production-wise, a mess reading-wise.
Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
Stay, please. I know. Oh, see, you're top-heavy, that's why. I wish I could say I had the same problem. Like I said, I did grab a bunch of stuff to try to, like, have things count for stuff. Like I finally got a copy of The Red Hunt, the book that I was saying count for an Irish person of color author. I got the group book, The Henna Wars. This I do want to start reading and finish reading because I feel like this would also count for read an author that's also a person of color. I don't know if I can combine stuff. I'd hope so. These I grabbed at random, and thankfully they're all like books with green covers because I wanted to see if I could combine stuff. Can I combine stuff? One is Brilliant by Roddy Doyle. Roddy Doyle is an Irish author. This takes place in Ireland. And this is a children's book, actually. I came across it while I was searching for Irish authors, and so I had requested this specifically. It's a kid's book. The people of Dublin love to talk and laugh, but when the black dog of depression arrives, the city's funny bone goes missing. Dads won't get out of bed, mothers no longer smile at their children, and uncles lose their businesses. Raymond and Gloria have had enough, and so one night, the night before St. Patrick's Day, they set out to find Dublin's funny bone and get rid of the black dog, no matter what it takes. So I kind of like the idea that this is a book kind of based around like mental health. I like that. And because it is so small, I think I'm actually going to get a chance to go through this. So we're going to put this in the definite to read pile. I have a Tina French book. She came up a couple of times while I was searching for Irish authors. And I almost got her other book. I see the color of the book. It was blue, and of course I'm totally spacing on the actual title. I was going to search for that, but while I was shelving at the library that I work at, I saw this. And I was like, oh, this is actually a green cover, and I know she's Irish, so we're going to take this. And it's one of her more recent books, too. So we have a mystery. Green cover, Irish author, set in Ireland. We got that. I also got the audiobook version of that as well. I think now that I have all these different like green cover options, I don't think I'm going to be reading this. Especially when I said in the beginning, I don't know if it'll count because it's like not quite fully green. Although it is rather on the thin side, so maybe I'll still keep it. Because it is set in Ireland, the author's Irish, and it's just, I think I need thinner books. This is the author, the same author as Brilliant, the one about depression, the depression dog. So the title was Brilliant, and I came across this only because, again, while I was shelving, I came across this, Love by Roddy Doyle. And I was like, oh, let's see what else that he has. It's funny, I know that's a beer, but because it's so dark, I'm like, that looks like chocolate. I just want chocolate. Like that looks like a, no, it's not chocolate. It does look sweet. Root beer float. That's what it looks like. I know it's meant to be a beer, but that looks like a root beer float. And now I really want a root beer float. And, and this is the book I wanted to read for like myths and legends. Kissing the Witch by Emma Donoghue. Old Tales in New Skins. So this is it. I think this is the solid TBR for now. Knowing me, it's going to change again. So I'm going to leave you. That's what I have for this first week of this readathon. Nothing too exciting. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess it's ta-ta for now. Bye, guys!